Las empresas deportivas están constantemente recorriendo el mundo en búsqueda de ideas para sus nuevos diseños con base en novedosas tendencias. La competencia por estar en la vanguardia es especialmente intensa en el mercado de los zapatos deportivos. Tony Betoni, ex asistente de una tienda de ropa, tiene la responsabilidad de crear nuevos diseños para la última colección de zapatos deportivos de la empresa Puma. A los 27 años es el director global de la gerencia de marca y uno de los altos directores de Puma.
I dread that question, like, what do you do? And that's why I just dismiss it as I make shoes. And that's it. I never want anybody to know exactly what I do because you're always going to sound like an asshole at the end of the day. You know, there's no way you can not, especially at this age, not come across as an asshole. This one guy, like 4 years ago, I said, I work for Puma. And we were out, like a bunch of us. He's like, so what do? You work in the warehouse or something? And I was like, I got so pissed off. I was like, but then I was like, yeah, I do. You know, I was just like, I box the shoes and I ship them out, you know, and I just leave it at that because you just don't want to get into that. Or at least, like I said, at least I don't want to get into that conversation.
Boston, Estados Unidos. Puma fue fundada en 1948 después de una división entre los hermanos alemanes Dassler. Adi Dassler creó Adidas y su hermano Rudy fundó Puma, empresas contrarias ubicadas una frente a otra en las márgenes de un río en un pequeño pueblo alemán. Durante décadas, Puma ha sido la hermana pobre de las tres grandes, Nike, Adidas y Reebok. Pero en su sede de Estados Unidos, en Boston, Tony Betoni está intentando llevar a Puma al escenario principal.
We built the office very open, so there was like really no boundaries. None of the offices really have doors. Only a couple of them have doors. There's no ceilings, so there's a sense of openness, but also lack of privacy in certain areas. So you got to take the good with the bad. A lot of people think it's like, you know, all design environments have to be like trampolines and people bouncing off the walls to feel creative. But I mean, if you're just generally a good thinker, and you can pretty much get the job done. That's Mark Sheehan. He's a product line manager for running. He comes from another company. He comes from Nike. Bad news. This was kind of neat, you know, having a fitness center put in. It's small, but it does the trick. I mean, lunchtime is just generally people are in here as much as possible. I don't dare go in here. Like, that would mean I'd have to exercise. And for a sports company, I just try not to do any of that stuff. Not watch sports, not exercise, and any of that crap. This is design. Like I said, a lot of people are still in Taiwan, a lot of people are overseas, so it's generally empty. This is Brad Lacey, who works on SLS, but you'll get to know him more intimately later. Scott Kendall, who's designing a lot of our soccer, and he's bouncing back and forth from Germany. Elizabeth Filarski, she's also on the team, and you'll get to know her as well in a second. This is my little chair and desk with my computer and video camera. And this is my little apartment, which I just tend to live at. See, we were very picky about, I didn't want like a big kind of snotty office with like a big oak desk and all that crap. I wanted 2 couches, a stereo, and a TV, and that's all, and like a dry erase board. And that's basically the best work environment for me to be. I mean, 90% of my day is spent on that couch, just lying down. So that's the office, and I'm not giving you the tour of the outside because it's cold as ass out there.
Desde comienzos de 1980 ha habido un aumento impresionante en la popularidad de los zapatos deportivos en el mundo entero. El año pasado, los británicos compraron casi 50 millones de pares de zapatos deportivos y una de cada 2 personas ahora posee por lo menos un par. La representante de Puma en Londres es Sarah Finney. Tiene como trabajo identificar las últimas tendencias en zapatos deportivos e informar a Tony.
I mean, she's quite cool, she's quite stylish, she's got a pair of Nikes on. We do a lot of recording and researching people, researching market, a lot of time is spent just sitting watching people go by, recording people. I talk to people a lot. I'm kind of very aware and conscious of what's going on in the magazines, what's big, what people are into, what clubs they go to, what music they like. And all of that has influence on Puma product, on trainers. You need to be able to recognise what people are wearing and why they're wearing them, and you need to be able to spot the things that the individual looks that people have that you know other people are going to copy. Just something that looks cool, and if they look cool and if they're carrying it off, you can guarantee you that, you know, their mates will start dressing like that, and then their mates' mates, and then they'll go out to the clubs, and then somebody, you know, the magazines will get onto it very quickly. So, and it's about spotting what's a look that's going to carry on.
Sara cree que es capaz de adivinar qué tipo de zapatos deportivos usan las personas con tan solo ver qué ropa llevan puesta.
Okay, go with a denim jacket on it, the pink top, denim skirt, definitely a flat, probably old school pair, possibly Adidas, definitely not Buffalo, definitely not Vans, definitely not a kind of hiking boot thing. Yeah, she's got Adidas on. He's quite cool. He's probably got trainers on, I reckon. Might have New Balance on or something like that. I don't think he'll be having Buffalos or Vans or anything like that on. Yeah, he's got New Balance. There's whole different groups of people that wear trainers, and they all wear certain kinds of trainers. And in 12 months' time, they'll basically be the same people. They'll still be into the same things, but everything evolves, and you have to kind of instinctively know that as well, because, you know, and you have to be quite brave and quite bold about what you think as well. Sometimes if you convince people enough, they'll believe you anyway, just because you're so confident about it. And maybe in a way that's how trends start. It's just whoever's the most charismatic or the most influential will, you know, filter down. So a lot of what I do sounds quite easy, and it would sound like anybody could just go out and do it, but there is actually a bit of a science to it. Does that sound too, like, improbable?
En promedio, Tony debe proponer diseños para 2 nuevos modelos de zapatos cada 2 meses. Ha ido a Londres en búsqueda de inspiración, ya que Gran Bretaña es uno de los lugares favoritos de los observadores de la moda.
I hate the
Do you collect trainers? No,
I collect mine, but basically after I wear them, I stick them in a storage lot because for some reason I just can't throw them away. I find it blasphemous. So I have a storage space downstairs in my apartment. It's all filled with my old sneakers. But I don't even wear my sneakers right now, which is depressing. I can't even be bothered to wear because I don't like them right now. I only like the ones that are coming out, which aren't in my size yet. So I am always left in the cold, and no matter how much I try to convince the factory to open the sample in my size, some person tends to always shoot me down.
Sam, I've got sample size feet.
I would literally cut off my big toe for sample size feet, but I think God knew that I'd be in trouble if I had sample size feet.
What size are you? 10 or something?
10.5. Well, UK it's a 9.5.
Yeah, you're never going to get 9.5.
No, seriously, I mean, Imelda Marcos wouldn't be second to me. Would be second to me if I was sample size. And plus, I would never leave the house because I would never be able to figure out what shoe to wear.
That I think is the sexiest 125
The meanest looking
on the
125.
planet. I think that's why they said it. You know, it's brilliant.
But does it come in other CCs?
No,
The Planet only comes in at 125? That's depressing. But look at the thing. I think it's is this certified? I mean,
yes, it's the look. If you love the look of it, which most people do, you buy the helmet. It does work.
friggin'
That one's nice.
Stormtrooper.
That one's nicer because it's got the visor.
Yeah, but I don't like the mirror finish.
You don't like
I mean,
mirror finish?
No.
Come on, how can you not like the mirror finish?
Very
It's
simply.
brilliant. Look at
Let's
it.
go. This is just scary looking.
Motorcyclists love that. They love to be intimidated. They love big bikes that are really loud.
The first thing that attracted me was the matte finish. It kind of looked like it was unfinished, the helmet. And then looking at the face mask with the sliding up piece where it's more just an accessory instead of a functional part of the helmet. Just makes you think how you can construct product, because if we were to make a shoe out of plastic, it's got to move up and down. There's got to be a flexibility in it because the way your foot naturally bends, you know? So it's just interesting how they're using lighter gauges of plastics on top of more reinforced areas of plastic. Looking at just general shapes, colors, textures on it. I literally want to make a plastic sneaker. I think the more people start integrating some sort of protective gear into their clothing. So, I mean, I think people in the city are going to want that protective, that extra sense of security. I mean, you see the face mask, but that's a bit extreme. So you want to find out how is that going to translate into a pair of shoes. I just feel like a plastic shoe, some sort of compound of plastic in the shoe, and like a really soft and supple lining that will make you feel secure and protected and can pretty much conquer anything. I mean, every time we have a snowstorm, I mean, it's like on the news for 45 hours, you know, that the storm is coming, death is near, you know, and then all of a sudden we get a dusting. So I just think people for the last 10, 15 years have been constantly oversensitized to everything. So I think the protective gear, it makes them feel a little bit safer outside in an unsecure world, you know. I might not even get it past the design stage. I mean, that's the reality of it. If I was wrong, then I'm wrong on like maybe maximum 3 products. You know, it's not like when you start a collection, you gut everything you've done. It's not that extreme. You know, you always have your staples to pay the bills and pay the lights, and then you do the fun stuff that either makes you or breaks you at the end of the day. You know, and then you got to kind of walk with your hat in your hand and be like, sorry, screwed that one up. Won't happen again. You know, and get on with it.
Una nueva industria ha nacido a raíz del análisis de las tendencias actuales. Una de esas empresas es la compañía británica de sitios web WGSN.
Everything we do goes live as soon as possible on the internet, and brands and retailers all over the world then access it from the desktop. All the information we provide is for anyone working in the fashion business. Trends are happening so quickly, and we're just here to give as much information as possible and channel it into the right areas. Excuse me, can I talk to you for a couple of minutes? I work for a website, and I'm doing a feature on trainers and what people are wearing. Do you mind, do you have 5 minutes just to talk to me about what you're wearing? And what have you got on today?
I've got Nike.
Why did you buy those particular trainers?
Those just trainers out at the time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How many pairs of trainers do you buy a year?
Yeah, it depends really. I try to buy at least 3 to 4 trainers every 2 months.
Wow, that's a lot.
Well, it's not that much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what about, how much would you spend? What's the most money you spend on a pair of trainers?
Well, my last trainers I bought was 160.
God, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
How many pairs do you own? How many pairs of trainers have you got?
Well, it depends. At the beginning of a month, I mean, at home right now, I've probably got about 10 or 15 pairs, but one pair lasts me a week, so they die every week. And
Are you skating
I
every
throw them
day?
over the train tracks. Pardon?
You throw them over the train tracks? What about like Puma, Nike,
Yeah, I like
big
Puma.
brands like that?
They're good. Puma's good.
Yeah?
I like Adidas the best though.
Adidas your favourite? Is it because of the image of Adidas, like all the adverts?
No, I just like the look of them really.
Yeah? Okay. Have you got any other trainers at home?
Some
Nike?
but they're not very good.
Y en Boston, el diseñador de Puma Brad Lacey está al día con las nuevas tendencias gracias a recursos como WGSN.
What you get from this is not like do everything like this. You'll get what the mass market kind of thing is happening and why they're shifting from it. I think you have to look a little beyond of just, you know, oh my God, everybody's wearing this color. Well, we better grab onto that color because everybody's going to wear it. What'll tend to happen is they'll be wearing it, but they'll be wearing it way before you thought they were going to wear it because it's kind of in these mass chain stores and they'll just like pump out all this apparel and stuff in these colors. So you have to be aware of what's going on, and then you have to like put your own spin on it and understand why people are doing that.
I need paper and stuff to bring though, and my products actually. This is some of the new stuff for spring 2001 that I wanted to talk about during the meeting. This is the be all end all.
this is the best shoe in the world. And this is the best women's shoe in the world. So we actually get, I mean, the team's really gelling well, and the products that we're making are the best ones I've ever seen out of any company. And that's not just because I work here, because I do have fantasies about other companies some days, about like their products. Sorry. We went to Harvey Nichols in the good old UK. We spent a lot of British pounds. We have this. I need this. It's some throat lozenges from Germany.
Al terminar su viaje de investigación, Tony vuelve para hablar con el equipo de diseñadores sobre sus planes para la nueva colección. Ahora el equipo tiene 4 semanas para crear los nuevos diseños antes de presentárselos a la junta directiva de Puma.
All right, let's go. All right, I'm gonna be in the front. It's up to you guys. Figure it out. Like, you know, we want that one-hit wonder, you know, that product that comes out and just, and then it's gone after 2 seasons because everyone's sick of looking at it because everybody bought the damn thing. If we can make one of those, oh my God, it brings us like at least 2 years of free and clear, make whatever crap you want to do. It's like you got to sell your soul sometimes and whore yourself out so they leave you alone for artistic freedom, yeah? The only way I could write this was I had to write it in a story format. And the one thing I wanted to talk about was safety. I feel like, you know, safety is going to be a huge issue for consumers. And I feel people are going to buy products based on their environment. You ever put on like a motorcycle helmet and you got that padding and that sense of like, ooh, like you're not moving, you know, and basically the safety in there. So if I have this hard plastic shell with this sexy toe, because I'm looking at the friggin' things all day, so they gotta look nice. And it gives you the sense of like every time you walk, like you know, a certain sense of solidness. Like the sense of security that you get from putting on a helmet is what I want in this shoe, but also that kind of bulletproof, and when it scuffs up, it just looks amazing. So the shoe, the technical name is, you know, Safe from Harm. And it's part of like the urban environment. And the 2 things that I kind of gave me the feeling for it, turn the page, is this Cagiva motorcycle that we saw in the UK. It's the meanest looking 125 I've ever seen in my life, you know? I think the Cagiva is more the feeling I want to go for. I want that sense of intimidation. What I felt like was like, you know, they want to wear pants and jackets that are padded for protection, but also alter the shape of their body to seem intimidating. Actually, this one piece I found at Harvey Nicks, and Harvey Nicks is a department store, yeah? And from Vex Generation.
I was kidding, but...
No, but the thing is, it just alters the way your appearance is. So, like, the Black Label consumer is gonna wear that on his bike and go to work.
I got this thing. I got this thing for my bike. Oh, these things are awesome.
Man, this thing is like warm. You need that today.
Can I wear this in here?
Urban Ninja. No, but pull your whole head down now. Pull it like a turtleneck, yeah. But see, like you go from like on the street intimidating girl.
You look like a Navy SEAL or something.
And then, but now pull it from the headband down. You can just wear it like a turtleneck and it looks normal. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's got the beading around it, so it just gives us unique.
Yeah, this just feels tough here.
I know, but it makes you feel strong and stuff like that.
Además, Tony ha ideado algo totalmente radical para la nueva colección de Puma.
So, okay, we did good sandals, and they're sandalicious, so I think that the little sub-brand cuteness will stay and continue. So the new thing I want to do is bedroom slippers. I think it's going to be hard. People, well, are we a sports company, or now we're making bedroom slippers? I don't care, you know. I want
a battle.
Oh, I know, but I mean, I'm not afraid of the battle. I mean, for me, it's like I want to change the product direction, and like, why not, as a sports company, come out with like the sexiest bedroom slippers in the world? Because I think that this Dolce Vita thing is coming back. You know, big open cotton pants. You know, everybody super tanned and just wearing like the most minimalist foot coverings as possible because they're on the beach sipping champagne. But what I want is like I see this like, you know, flat rectangular box. You know, and then the slippers go in there, and it's just this clear, pretty box, and just to open it up and they come off, you know. Exactly, just like a glove box. The main thing is like, you know, how we treat the branding and whatnot. And the only thing I could show how I wanted to see it, I mean, I wanted the Puma branding to be subtle, just like we did it here with just the cat, you know. We do maybe like a little cat and word, little #1 logo somewhere, like on a fold label or whatnot. But then we detail it out in an Asian sense, I mean, like, but tonally. And like, these are these pants I bought in Harvey Nicks. But what I was thinking is like, you know, maybe around the toe or around the ankle line, we do like a nice little decorative, you know, ornamental. I think what we do is we go and get some influences from like Chinese or Hindi or Hindi or blah, 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 blah.
And if we have something as so extreme as like urban warrior, super protected boy, and then you know what? He and she, they gotta relax, you know? They work their asses off and then they go to like, you know, Mallorca for a weekend, you know what I'm saying? So they gotta have something to kick around the hotel in and like, you know, just kind of chill in their car. And it's a good summer shoe to wear, you know?
En búsqueda de inspiración, tanto para el diseño como para las telas de los zapatos Safe from Harm y las zapatillas, el equipo visita el Museo de Bellas Artes de Boston.
You know, if you were like 1,000 years ago, this is how you would design armor for your body. And it's like, how do you do that for 2001?
Yeah, but this is also to scare the bejesus out of people.
Well, isn't that part of what you're talking about too? I mean, it's like intimidation.
I don't know. I'd just like to wear it for a day.
You'd have to shrink. I mean, what's so amazing to me is like they're like little tiny guys.
There's that company Kenzo, who their ads look like it. It's like modern day samurai, but I don't know if they'll ever pull it off. But Brad, you should find the print.
Yeah, the room with the prints.
But I mean, this stuff is nice if we did like this kind of detailing. But
well, when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. I mean, it's just like there's a lot of movement.
I don't want to be like acupuncture, like I said. I'll show you the shoe. It's like the geisha. It's got the geisha's head on the shoe. I want to see like a good one with like a pretty dragon or something.
These are like giant screens with dragons.
Look at this. Is all woven.
Oh, this is cool. Yeah, this looks like the same.
And it's beautiful stuff.
And there's just meaning in all.
Yeah, it's like exactly what you'd want to put in the shoes. Yeah.
The concept here is self-defense. We learn to bite, pull hair, pinch. All that is part of the art.
If you wished to take it to the extreme, you could strike and kill that opponent.
El maestro y el alumno. El arte del guerrero. Martes 11 de marzo. Mujeres de poder y muchas ganancias sin aparente esfuerzo. ¿Pero sabe lo que cuesta llegar a la cima? El mundo secreto de la supermodelo.
That's good, actually. Oh, S&M for like your raincoat. But that must feel really good on, actually.
Great details.
I know, but that might feel really good on. If you start at a high-end level, like this high-end, it's a bit easier to predict the masses.
You have to understand that these are the consumers and this is what they're into, and how are we going to like one-up it? You know, what do we do to make it, you know, like ahead of this? And that's what's the challenge of it.
Oh, yeah. That's the backpack, yeah. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it before.
It's nice. How do we get help around here?
That's a good question.
Dude, just walk back there and grab the friggin' bag. What are they gonna say? Look how good this thing is. I mean, this thing's... Oh, this thing is like bulletproof, I'm telling you. Check it out. It's like... You unclip it, but check it out, yeah? It is. That's what the shoes gotta look like, yeah? Look at that. You got all your Filey packs and stuff like that. So you slip your laptop behind there. You got some place to stick pens and CDs and whatnot. And then you seal it.
The challenge is going to be where do we find a plastic that, like you said, we can last. Because this is ABS, and there's no way you can...
Fight Flex ABS. Put Take off your coat's lighter. Feel how good it feels. I've had the thing on, like I was trying to jack it from the store in France because they had the smaller one. I was like, Yeah, because this was designed for the smaller your back.
I think I'm too tall, but it still feels
good. You'd be like jacking on your bike with that stuff, yeah? Isn't that cool? Yeah. And you look cool with it. It's some Swedish company. We like the Swedes.
I'll have to get some development people on that.
My friend's got the black one, and it looks so cool. Like, you see him walking down the street, and you see this, like, and how it scratches up and stuff like that is exactly how I see the shoe looking.
Yeah. The polished vacuum cleaner kind of plastic.
Elizabeth diseña dos versiones de zapatillas y simultáneamente Brad trabaja en otra versión y en el modelo plástico de los Safe from Harm.
Since we talked with Tony the last time, he kind of like sets the stage for what we're going to create. The first thing, we go through and do a lot of just hand sketching and just, here we go. So a lot of these kind of like looking at some of those embroidery things and just doing like details like this just to sew. Yeah, we were in the MFA of Boston, the Chinese section of it. They have a lot of screens and tapestries, and the level of detail, like just how somebody painstakingly went around and painted all these little tiny details, and we're trying to get some of that across, and we're trying to find some materials with the same kind of paperiness. And after we've kind of met about these drawings, we'll decide, okay, that's the direction, we need to tighten it up, take this part from this one, put it on this one, and then we'll go into the computer and just what we'll do is scan in our sketches and then just kind of redraw them in the computer and render them, just make them look realistic, presentation type drawing. And once again, this is a Safe from Harm shoe. I've always seen this as kind of being a black shoe that you could wear not only just during the day, it's just kind of like wear with your shorts or whatever, but at night, you know, you could go to the club or something and it'd still look right. Yellow and red, and to those directions, those are more challenging colors for people to buy.
Once we go through our sketch phase, we know who has, you know, the kind of the energies toward which project. So I've been working on some slippers, and Brad also has a slipper, and he has definitely been the one to focus on the Safe from Harm. So it's been interesting to watch it progress and, you know, kind of work on different things at the same time and come back together and take a look. And the separation is very cool, though.
Aunque los Safe from Harm serán hechos en Taiwán, Brad crea un modelo inicial para tratar de convencer a los jefes de que el zapato es una buena idea. Los dos diseños, la zapatilla y los Safe from Harm, ahora deben enfrentarse a la primera ronda de críticas. Tony debe recibir la aprobación del resto de la junta directiva de Puma antes de hacer del zapato una realidad.
So I'll start off with the Safe from Harm shoe. A shoe that's molded plastic, and then it's basically gives the sense of while you're out in the street that you're protected from the elements. Like whether you be on a subway, whether you be a bike messenger, it's about urban protection from whatever it is in your daily life. And what I did, I brought this model for you guys so you can kind of see how the part would be constructed.
You see about that? That's the problem. I see that's better.
What did you say?
I said that's the problem. He sees it too well.
Basically what you have is a toe cap and a quarter piece, and this tongue, and these are elastic, so as you walk, you know, you can still have that room for flex there, and this is soft underneath here.
And we'll sample it in the UK 9.5.
No, we won't. That's what you want.
But I don't want Martin to wear it.
He's gonna have them. You gotta be there a year later looking for your shoes again, Tony. You know?
It has to be literally like an animal shell, where it's crusty on the outside and very soft on the inside. When you put your foot into it, you can't feel like it kind of looks like it can't look like it's gonna hurt and then hurt. You know, it's got to like look tough and feel soft.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of like the
motorcycle helmet. I think it's the only way we can really figure this out.
So like
exoskeleton.
Right, exactly like an exoskeleton.
So thinking of success and how can we follow that up in the fall season, we want to keep that novelty approach to our footwear. You know, we have enough really serious products through Platinum and Black Label, you know, and I think that the monos and the greens and the sandals need to be a little bit more lighthearted and easy to follow up on. Our new idea that we'd like to do for the fall version of the sandals is slippers, as in bedroom slippers. In a manner of speaking, the way we see it is this, is like, there's always room for like a hush puppy in the marketplace. There's always an interest in that type of product. Like novelty footwear sales, especially if it's branded, it brings a bit more interest in terms of a growing product field. We felt, let's take certain design elements and aesthetics, you know, that we get from sandals and we get from general lifestyle consumer, and now let's put it in a shoe that he can use in the fall. Kids wore slides, kids wore clogs. What's the next, let's say, popular footwear statement that a young consumer group can make? So we thought slippers. So I think you guys, they're cheap and easy to make. Come on, Pat! Hot, easy money, Pat! Look how pretty they are. You would sell millions in China alone, okay?
So I guess thinking about this, it's like you've been out in your Safe from Harm shoes. So you've been out in your safe from harm ass-kicking shoes all day long. And so now you get to come home and slip into something sexy. So
looking at those, I mean, those are street fashion. When you say bedroom slippers, that was your typical, you know.
You're not doing just an average, inexpensive bedroom slipper.
No,
You're doing something that's special.
Right, but
you undersold it, Tony.
All right, good. I'll take that cue and run with it. No, the main thing is once again, I'm going to say a dirty word right now, and packaging, in terms of like the packaging of the sandal and everything. You know, we saw it being a clear rectangle box. They pack flat. Ideally, one day we wanted to make a Coke machine that sold Puma Clydes. You know, maybe we still will do it. But the problem was, of course, sizing and size of machine and ability to distribute it properly. But this is something that you could sell out of a vending machine. I mean, the ideas that come jumping to the head to keep a very young and like whimsical part of Puma alive and keep it progressing. I mean, I definitely think that we can have a lot of fun with this. No, amazing job, both of you. I mean, it's great. Like you guys are, you guys are becoming more product managers than you are designers, and I think that your peers will definitely recognize that. And next time, you should actually invite them into the presentations, because one thing I think that all the other teams can learn. You know what I'm saying? I don't think any other team is as integrated as we are, and that's taken how many seasons now? You know,
it's a lot of its personalities I see with other teams. It's like, you know, it's like they don't really.
Yeah, but I mean, it took us a while to kind of grow together, you know, and everybody's kind of, we did really good there, almost too good. So basically go home today. Don't even come and just go home, get in the car and go home. But if you decide to come in tomorrow or whatever, the next day, you know, no rush, but make sure you get your shit done. We want to see the Safe from Harm like yesterday. You know what I'm saying? You want to get that shit moving. I don't want to end up with a situation like we have with Dune, where we're at friggin' sign off and no one knows what the thing looks like. You know what I'm saying?
The greatest companies in the world always had that one person that you can pinpoint it, and they're like, you know whose religion they're chomping on. Whether it's the thing for Puma, that's one thing, but just for me as Tony, that's what I know. So that's the only thing I can say. Corporate America and these 40-year-old guys that you talk about that should be in my position are in other positions, and they just love to overcomplicate the fact that it's just a friggin' sneaker or a jumper, you know, and they try to make excuses for not going forward and try to use crutches every day because it's their own security. Whatever, they can't be faulted for that. But if they just relaxed for 5 friggin' seconds and looked at actually what they did and stopped giving themselves such a self-important role, you know, such a sense of self-importance, and just go, you know what? Shoe. We make 300 of them. You know what I'm saying? Let's stop thinking that every one is the second coming of Christ. You know, I mean, that's one thing that pisses me off, is like about my job, and it'll always piss me off. And people think I take it too personally, and I don't mind. I mean, I say it to them to their faces, so I don't care. And I've never been the most popular person in the company because of this theory. But you know, little by little, you win battles, and I guess I can't always have it my way, as my boss always says.
3 meses más tarde, los dos diseños deben enfrentar la prueba más dura. Los representantes de ventas de Puma de todo el mundo han ido a Boston para dar su veredicto. Dependiendo de cuánto gusten los diseños, el equipo de Tony podrá vender los zapatos en el mundo entero o tendrá que volver a la mesa de diseño. Los últimos prototipos acaban de llegar de Taiwán, solo 20 minutos antes de la reunión.
Why are they always making this coated thing?
Because they didn't get the molds done.
So they are opening molds?
They're opening 3D molds for this, but until then we've got this plastic abomination that we've got now. It's so hard to look at that right now. It's so far from what it's going to be like. And in the end, it'll all be molded like a motorcycle helmet or something. So it's quite a different feel from what it's going to look like in the end. So I'd hope they'd get a little farther down the road, but it's a very difficult thing for them to open all these 3-dimensional molds to do all these upper parts, and they just kind of ran out of time.
That shoe's unshowable right now.
Yeah, it's in pretty rough shape. They're usually, I mean, they'll be understanding that it's not finished, and we'll kind of have to kind of quickly go through it.
It's pretty huge.
Right. We're still very early in the whole thing. We've got time to make changes, time to get things right. It's just, you don't want to get too bent out of shape arguing about, well, this doesn't look right. Well, this is not what the final thing looks like. This is one step towards that.
I think that looks good.
It looks a lot better.
This is awesome. This material's so cool.
Yeah, I love it's that crispy stuff from Italy.
But it's,
They should be collapsible also.
Yeah, that's
because if we're gonna package them in a little box.
This part here.
but this is just for your preview, like.
Yeah.
But we still want to make the little box, right? The little rectangle square box.
Yeah.
It came away. I mean, my main concern the last round was just getting the pinch in the tab so that it can be easy to put on. And they did a really nice job with the embroidery so far.
You have to like put yourself kind of aside from it and say, okay, it's about the shoe and this is what's wrong and what are they really saying when they say, well, we don't like this. What are they, what is it that's wrong?
I think most importantly is that we're able to keep faith. Yes, it will get there. It will.
Yeah, you get like thick skin really quick as a designer. If you don't, you're not going to be able to do it for very long. So if you start taking all that stuff personally, you're a wreck. All right.
Go.
My boss has gotten used to it now. Before it was pretty hard. It was a lot of arguing. I mean, I was the psychotic one. I mean, everybody was just like, "You're a nut." I mean, I'm not diplomatic. I'm not educated. From business school or. I mean, I'm just a kid off the street. Well, that's where I was 5 years ago. I was just a kid off the street. I mean, I've definitely refined myself a bit more lately.
More of a casual shoe that you'd wear for a couple hours, but they're not meant to be truly expensive either. They're meant to be. I wouldn't wear them out. If you wear them outside for a couple months and they get wet and everything, I'm sure they'll fall apart. I don't think they're meant for that. But
which one do you like? I mean, you got like 3 different styles here.
Is the what's your plan, Joe? To reduce?
Well, I think you need more than one. We know that.
Okay.
I don't want to have 3 slippers that sit. And people buy only one of them either. So, I think a safe way is 2. Once we pass them around, I need to get a survey on.
Well, the question is do you want to bring 2 first, 1 later, and
do you like them or do you?
Yeah, I particularly like this one the best because it just makes you touch it. There's something about it.
That material, the crusty material.
If you put them all 3 down, I bet everybody would touch that one first.
Great. I would probably just do 2 colors of the one style and then just
Okay.
save the other ones for if it's a smashing success.
Okay, so we'll do another colorway of this, whatever the material color comes in, but we'll just go with 2.
Turn the toe over, it looks pretty.
They were put under their table for now. No, they wisely so. We decided to go with Brad's slipper. Even before the meeting, seeing the second prototypes come back, they just were telling a different story than what Brad's was. I think they. As much as these spoke for a more comfort story and more, sleepy time slipper, I think that they were, and rightly so, concerned with the branding. I like to see the form stripe on the shoe, and his just came back tight. It looked beautiful. This is our branding, the Puma form stripe. So on the 3rd slipper, it has a very dominant form stripe on it, and these I had taken the notion, we'll try and just make it a little more intricate into the design, through the embroidery, and it wasn't taken as well as I had hoped. But there are always changes. I needed to hear that, and if I were sitting in that position, making the decision, putting the best slipper forward to kind of pave the way, and then open the door up for something like this, the slipper that was chosen, I think, will do that best. And now back to the drawing board.
Tony tendrá que esperar varios meses para conocer el verdadero resultado de la reunión. Son necesarias 20,000 órdenes de compra para que se inicie la producción de un diseño. Si esto no sucede, Puma habrá perdido miles de dólares y meses de arduo trabajo en equipo.
In the last 2 months, I've done about 60,000 miles. And then I came home, and then I went 3 weeks in Europe. I went to New York on Friday. Now I go to Cologne and London tomorrow, the same day. And then Milan. and then back to Germany, and then back home. Like a joke. But all in that bag. That's it. It's just that one bag for 14 days, I think I'm going now. My love life is non-existent. You don't meet many people on planes, you know, because the last thing you want to do is make friends on a plane, especially on, like, you know, some of the carriers I fly. You just don't want to make friends. You just Walkman, eye shades, you know, and try to get through the night.
Gran parte del trabajo de Tony consiste en viajar por el mundo visitando puntos de venta potenciales para sus zapatos. Puma Rank Offspring es el principal punto de venta de sus productos en Londres. Las ventas allí aseguran el éxito de una línea.
Today we're in London to test our theories, I guess. You know, the products that we're making for fall/winter 2001. We use Richard from Office and Offspring. We've used him for probably the past 3 or 4 years. It's just a good sounding board to show prototypes to and see what his feelings are, because on a global scale he does have a bit of a trendsetter membership card where he can definitely spot what's going to be a shoe for the future and what's going to be successful and what's not. So it's just a good way to kind of balance out at a good enough stage in the development where we can actually take some of his comments and use it to implement into the final product. Bedroom slippers.
Great.
And it's still got a little
made
bit
of paper.
No, it's this kind of neat little plastified nylon. You know, it's kind of like a wax finish on it.
That's brilliant.
And it's like quilted. The thing is, they're going to be packaged in these little kind of cigarillo boxes that are, you know, really.
Are
nice.
these actually slippers?
Uh-huh.
Just make that a little bit thinner, and we'll have that on a street as well. That's brilliant.
Thicker, you mean?
Yeah, just slightly thicker.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's not going to have a heel counter. You know, because like I want it to be a collapsible, because the shoe's got to have the pack nice and
gold
flat.
And red. Gold,
Emperor red, Chinese,
fantastic.
Do you like the contrast stripe? I wanted to use a tonal form stripe.
Oh, I like that. That's cool. What do you think? It's good.
Cool, like little embroidery.
Gets the thumbs up from the Offspring crew.
Woo!
No, that's no. I love that. That's
no,
really
but like
nice.
the toe roll is going to be good, and like it's just finishing the blocker a little nicer.
Well, you can even bring it further back if you have to.
The thing is that I'm just worried about when people fit it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Some people's got some nasty toes that are going to pop out and like deform the shoe. So like, I just got to make sure that it's going to be all right.
Homer Simpson toes with those.
It's like a big ass knuckle sticking out of my slipper.
Bunion and a
No, but the slipper thing I think is actually going to be pretty hot. So,
yeah, it is. But
everyone's going to be like kind of like Hugh Hefner
this is
lounging.
an updated Kung Fu sneaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Endless variations on that as well.
Super.
That's brilliant.
It's almost going too well.
Yeah. You still want to go though.
Exactly. All right, this one's like 40 to 50% ready. It's just the molds weren't finished on the shoe.
Is this where I say this is crap?
Yeah, this is, I don't know if this shoe's going to be for you. It maybe will. All right, let me explain, okay, what this shoe's going to be. It's going to be actually ABS plastic.
Right.
It's actually going to, it's going to look like a motorcycle helmet, to be honest with you. You know, this is just sheet cut and stitched by hand just to see what the upper pattern looks like, but we're actually cutting the molds now, and in 3 weeks it should be done. So basically you're going to have 1, 2, 3...
I'm not so certain about the shiny stuff. I think the last is fantastic. I think the design is fantastic.
It's crazy. It's called Safe from Harm.
I like it a lot. I think it's and I really like the ergonomic.
No, the ergonomic toe is what makes this shoe, especially if you see it from when it actually gets finished, and it's going to be plastic. You know, it's going to have a really kind of.
For me as well, though, that'd be a perfect one just to put into leather as well. But then maybe you launch it in that and then the leather afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, the main thing is
that's a great.
I need to get pairage at first behind the plastic, because like let's say the factories right now, I mean they're injecting a whole shoe. They think it's the most insane thing they've ever done.
So far so good, mate. That and that is huge money makers. This, like you say, is Elite's staple product.
It's just,
but then you need that to make certain that they're going to go.
I'm actually happy about the slipper. You know, I think the way he saw it was much. I think that's one of the things you didn't expect. Those things I was telling you about. I didn't expect him to be so enthusiastic about it. I thought I would have had to sell him on the idea a bit more. And I mean, obviously I felt comfortable enough to tell him about my crazy vending machine idea that I've had for so long, and nobody really knows about it. But I really want, to have some sort of unique way to people to buy and interact with the product. The Safe from Harm, it's typical. You know, you're telling the person this, that, and the other thing, like the theory of the shoe and how it's going to be constructed. And like, yeah, but it should be leather. There's no need to make the shoe in leather. Otherwise, it's not the safe from harm. It's just a sneaker. So, I mean, that's, you know, one of those in one ear, out the other kind of comments.
2 meses después, el prototipo final ha llegado. Elizabeth y Brad llevan sus diseños a la calle para saber lo que la persona más importante de todas, su cliente potencial, opina del zapato.
Yeah, this is a slipper, basically. A
bedroom slipper?
Yeah, like a house slipper kind of thing. And
oh, wow.
We're trying to work on the inside and make it a little more comfortable, but just the look of it and the feel and the idea of Puma having a slipper. Does it make sense to you guys, or would you just...
I think it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous?
Yeah.
They're probably going to be hot today, but they're actually going to be a little softer on the inside in the final version. Right now, it's just a prototype.
I would definitely wear
Something that's
it's
cool.
Nice. It's
What do you
kind of
guys think?
sexy.
Sexy looking?
I think it's kind of sexy.
Cool. The idea is a city, like an urban, a tough shoe for the city.
Oh,
It's
I guess it speaks. I'm a waiter, and I need something comfortable. I don't need anything to protect my feet, so I don't know. They should make like bottom a little thicker, because people might want to wear them in the house and out.
Okay.
And like knowing that they're this thin, they might not want to wear them outside because it will wear down.
Yeah, that's a good comment.
It is a good comment.
You can't judge people's reaction when you ask for it. The proof is when, you know, they go to the store, they see it on the shelf, nobody's bothering them, and they make up their mind at that point. And I think, you know, I'm kind of glad that people don't get it, because it means it's a bit ahead of its time, which is good, you know, because it does come out next year. I mean, if people were like, oh, dead on it right now, oh, this is perfect, or they start saying it looks like this or looks like that, then you're already behind and you might as well just scrap the shoe. But the fact that people don't know what to make of it, people are so hot and cold, is usually a good sign.
Las zapatillas saldrán a la venta a finales de este año, pero la producción de los Safe from Harm ha sido postergada para la próxima temporada porque se hizo muy compleja.
Doblado y subtitulado en M&M Studios, Caracas, Venezuela.